And we are live. We're live here from Washington, D.C. Good morning to everybody. I'm obviously moving my stuff around here this morning. There is a lot going on. There's a lot going on. They changed there we go. They changed my thing. It changed it a bit on me. So we have a lot going on today. There is a lot to talk about. I'll tell you what, the title of the show, of course, dollars debanking, which is big news, and the digital dreams, the Impact Money Show, live from DC. Good morning. Welcome to the show. It's Thursday, March 6th, and we're coming to you from the heart of Washington, where the financial world is spinning faster than the fidget spinner on a caffeine binge. The weather outside our studio, a crisp 42 degrees Fahrenheit with the light breeze rustling the cherry blossoms. Just starting to peek out. Spring's teasing us, but the markets, well, they're not waiting for permission to bloom or bust. Today, your money's caught in a tornado of tariffs, crypto surge, and global power plays, and we're here to break it down for you. Because where the dollar meets decision, that is where we live, folks. That's where we live. Let's start right here in D.C., where yesterday the Senate dropped a bombshell that's got your bank account on notice. They passed the Financial Freedom Act, or as I'm calling it, the right to debank for no reason law. By a razor-thin 51-49 vote with a Republican-controlled Senate, it sailed on party lines after weeks of fiery debate, and here's the gist. Banks can now cut you off. No explanation needed if they don't like your vibe or your politics. Republicans cheer it as a win for private enterprise. Democrats slam it as a license to discriminate. Imagine this. You're a small business owner, maybe posting something spicy about Trump's latest tariff tantrum, and bam, your account's toast. No appeal, no recourse. The banking cartel, the Fed's not printing more money to fix this one. It's sitting tight at a $7 trillion balance sheet, but your cash flow, that's your fight now. We'll dig into what that means for your savings and the stocks later, but buckle up. It's a new Wild West for banking. Speaking of Trump, the town's still buzzing from his Tuesday night address to Congress. 36.6 million of us tuned in, and he didn't disappoint. He's swinging the budget axe like an episode of Chopped. 80,000 jobs slashed from Veteran Affairs Department. Military aid to Ukraine paused faster than you can say Kiev. Fiscal discipline or a risky rollback depends on who you ask. Wall Street's jittery. Dow futures are down 0.83% this morning, about 356 points, pointing to an open near 42,650 after yesterday's 485 point rally. NASDAQ futures down 1.3%, a 240 point haircut to the 18,312-ish. Trump's tariff gambit, 25% on Canada and Mexico, 20% on China, all live since Monday, appears to be backfiring. Canada's cracking down on foreign takeovers. China's slapping duties on U.S. goods, and Mexico's gearing up to retaliate. Yesterday's hope for agricultural exemptions appears to be fading fast. Posts are screaming uncertainty, and traders are hitting the sell button. There's one thing that markets do not like, folks, and that is uncertainty. But it's not all doom here in Washington, D.C. Trump's hosting the first ever White House crypto summit tomorrow, March 7, and Bitcoin is loving it, up 1.75% today at 91,300, a 16% leap from last week's 78,223 low. If you caught that wave, hats off, guys. Nice move. He's teasing a strategic crypto reserve with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano, maybe more U.S. companies. I wrote an article about that. Maybe tapping the U.S.'s 200,000 seized Bitcoin, 18 billion worth. All coins are green too. ETH up 10%. Solana's bouncing. Once a crypto skeptic, Trump's now the crypto president, with the dollar wobbling to say the least. This could be a game changer. More on that when we bring in Vin Menon later. He's got 24,800 Bitcoins tied to Mindwave DAO on the Nila token. And this summit is his runway. Across the Potomac, Elon Musk Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, because, of course, it's called that. It's stirring the pot. Republicans are begging him to let Congress vote on his federal spending overhaul, but Musk's playing coy. Posts on X say he's using AI to crunch procurement data and cut jobs. Think $1 trillion in trims, but critics warn of bias and chaos. Meanwhile, Trump's plan to sell off 440 federal buildings like the FBI and the DOJ headquarters here in D.C. shrank to 320 after Tuesday's backlash. Efficiency or fire sale gone wrong? Your tax dollars are watching. Now let's zoom out because your money doesn't stop at the Beltway. The U.S. dollar is taking a beating, down 1.44% today on the DXY, sliding from 104.330 to 102.80. What is up? Trump tariffs are boomerang. Canada and China are punching back. The euro is flexing at 108.40-ish. Up from 107.9. Posts on X tie this to the trade war fears, but there's more. Risk appetite. People like to de-risk. Let me just get out of the market right now until I know what direction it's going. We talk about it a lot with Matt Dixon and everything else, right? Let me just get out of the market now. Let me put our ticker down here. We got a ticker here with the current prices. Let me get out of the market right now until I see a clear direction. That is a very normal trading thing. That's what I do quite a bit, as well as Matt and everybody else. Let me get a clear direction in a trade that I know that I can win. People are talking about trade war fears. China's hinting at stimulus. Inflation is cooling. Trueflation says 1.44 CPI. And Trump's Ukraine pivots got folks rethinking the greenback safe haven status. The banking cartel, the Federal Reserve, they're not printing more. It looks like right now, balance sheet steady at $7 trillion. Rates might dip to 4 to 4.25% on March 20th, which would be big news. But this dollar dive's got oil climbing 0.5% to 66.65, which is still fairly low historically over the last couple years. How high is it going to go? Well, 68.70 next week if the DXY, the dollar, keeps dropping, and maybe 75 by the month end if Gaza or Putin stir the pot. The energy stocks are eyeing a payday. Keep watching. Speaking of Putin, he's smirking from Moscow. Trump's Ukraine aid cut after the Oval Office clash with Zelensky plays right into his plans. The Kremlin's open to talks, but Putin's still demanding surrender of NATO's retreat. Dismissing Zelensky as illegitimate. On the ground, Ukraine drones are holding the line, 70% of casualties now. But a Russian missile strike hit a training ground yesterday, and a Ukrainian drone torched a Russian oil pipeline. Energy markets twitched. Oil's got room to run. Europe's scrambling with an emergency EU summit pushing a 1-month truce, but Trump's skepticism could tank the Eurozone bonds. Defense stocks? Wobbly. But drone tech might boom. Your portfolio's got choices. Then there's Gaza, a financial tinderbox you can't ignore. Nearly 400 bodies turned up in a hospital mass grave yesterday. Some appear to be buried alive, they say, by Israel. And Israel choking and starving the population. 4 babies died of cold in tents. The ceasefire, 3 weeks old, but teetering. Israel's holding 620 prisoners. Hamas is stalling the hostages. Trump's Riviera plan to turn Gaza into a resort after displacing 2.2 million Palestinians. Still hot air at this point. Egypt and Jordan say no, no, no. The UN screams war crimes, bombings paused. But discussions hint that Israel's gearing up if talks collapse. Oil's up, bonds down. Energy markets could ignite if this truce snaps. Across the Pacific, the yen's up 0.5%, 0.5% today. The U.S. dollar Japanese yen around 148.14. We've talked about how important the Japanese yen is, and just a real quick breakdown for you. If you don't know, and if it's your first time watching or you haven't watched us talk about it before, people use the yen with very low interest rates or zero or even negative interest rates historically over the last 20 years, and they borrow the yen and then they change it into whatever currency they need to and invest. And so that they call it the yen carry trade. They call it the yen carry trade. Seems to be unwinding a bit. The traders are betting big that the yen is going to keep climbing. And of course, if that keeps climbing, then that cheap money is not available for investors. Why? The dollar is soft. The dollar is soft. The Bank of Japan's Kazuo Ueda hawkish. He is hawkish after the January's rate hike to 0.5%. Core inflation is 2.6% there in Japan. Wages are up. Next hike, March 19th or 20th. If the data holds, maybe sooner if the yen hits 140. This is torching the $1 trillion yen carry trade. Loans are costlier to repay, and last August unwind crashed equities, including Bitcoin, 20 to 30%. Today's futures dip. Dow and NASDAQ red might be the first tremor. Oil's at 65, but a bigger yen rally could push it to 70, 75. Your tech stocks, brace for turbulence. Asia's a different story. Stocks are mostly up, with the Hang Seng Index soaring 3.29% to 23,696. China's printing money to dodge tariffs is the word. Beijing's dropping 1.3 trillion yuan in bonds to hit 5% GDP growth, cushioning export hits, not flooding the world with yuan. They say. Alibaba's QWQ 32B AI model sparked a 7.3% share spike. Tex Electric, yen strength, and a risk-on vibe, oil up, dollar down, are lifting the tide. Effects, oil and copper could climb, but U.S. equities volatility might spike if the carry traders unwind harder. The euro's strutting too. Euro-U.S. dollar up. The euro is up as the German yield hits 2.4% on the 150 billion euro defense loan buzz. ECB is at 2.75%, maybe cutting a 25 points on March 20th. Hawkish vibes and risk appetite. HSI is at 3.2%. The yen's at 0.5%. Are powering this. Could test 1.09 if the DXY sinks to 103. Your euro bets might shine. Precious metals blinking. Gold's down 0.6% to 29.03. Silver's off 0.5% to 32.61. Is the top in? Nope. Dollar's soft. Fed's eyeing cuts. Gaza's shaking. Gold's got 3,000 in sight. And silver, $40 by the mid-year. This dips your buy signal. Yen unwind could spike them higher. Folks are saying $32.75 on gold. And $50 silver if chaos reigns is not a crazy call. AI is rewriting the game. Amazon's Nova model drops in June, rivaling Claude. Tencent's Huan Turbo S outruns DeepSeek. Musk's dog is catching flack for AI job cuts. $1 trillion in trims, while AI fraud is surging. Per Aviva Canada. Cybersecurity stocks like CHKP are up 15%, and it could soar. Text your wild card. Robotics, Tesla's Optimus scale to thousands by year. Morgan Stanley says 430 for Tesla. Figure AI is chasing 1.5 billion Figure AI is chasing 1.5 billion at a 39.5 billion valuation. Grocery sorting bots are gold. Agility's digit stack warehouse shelves. Japan's AREC flips patience. Goldman Sachs sees a 38 billion market by 2035. Labor shortage are the spark. Your tech portfolio has got room to run. And a bit later, we've got the great Vin Menon, Mindwave DAO's mastermind, as I mentioned, with 24,800 Bitcoins, 1.7 billion backing the Nila token. Bitcoin's at 91,300. The summit is tomorrow, the White House Crypto Summit. Vin is pitching AI-driven DeFi to the world's richest families. A week or so ago at the Global Family Office Investment Summit. We will talk to him live. So, folks, that's your morning. DC's 42 degrees. You can't cool this heat. The Senate's debank law, Trump's crypto pivot, tariffs tanking futures, Putin's leverage, Gaza's powder keg, a wobbly dollar, climbing oil, yen chaos, Asian booms, Euro flex, precious dips, AI surges, robotics, cash, all hitting your wallet. Stick with us. We're diving deep into what that means for your investments, your jobs, your future. This is the Impact Money Show, and we are just getting started. Let's roll here. I have the great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch report right here. Let me share my screen. Matt sent me a recorded one today. He had some meetings. Let me just pop this here. Boom, boom. Ooh, let me just boom. So let me just load this. Bam, bam. Here we go. Boom. All right, here we go. The Market Watch report with Matt Dixon.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Bruce. It's a real pleasure to be here today on the Impact Money Show. And what a day it is. We've got the cryptocurrency strategic reserve meeting tomorrow, basically a crypto summit, not just about the strategic reserve, but there's all sorts of important industry figures going to be there. This is big news for the crypto world. So this is, I think, why crypto has been pumping, despite a lot of background bad news with tariffs and so on. Crypto has pumped quite nicely. It's actually gone according to our wave count. And we have been talking about dollar cost averaging. Anytime there's a dip, time to dollar cost average. And it actually fits beautifully with our count, where we had basically potentially a wave 4 low here. Wave 4, of course, being a corrective wave. If I just scroll out a little bit, you'll see we had a wave 3 earlier. Basically, all-time high was here for Bitcoin at 109,000. So we had a WXY down, which completes a wave 4, I believe. And we've started moving up already in a 5th wave. Depending on what news comes out of this. And of course, not only do we have this meeting tomorrow, this very important crypto meeting tomorrow, we've also got non-farm payrolls. And we hope that they'll come out in line with market expectations or even better than. So there's a lot of potential positives right now. We've had a lot of negatives, which have caused this sideways, slightly negative price action. And some people were sort of really concerned. There's a lot of negativity out there in the market, but this is very typical of a wave 4 when people are wondering, is the top already in? I don't believe it is, because this is corrective, and I think the news tomorrow should be positive. And I know there's the old adage, buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, obviously we'll be pushing up probably on the rumor, but this is such positive news, and I think there's a lot hangs on this for the future of crypto and the future of innovation. I think it's going to continue to be positive for some time. So I've said for quite some time now, I think March is going to be a good month for crypto and for risk assets in general, and I still believe that to be the case. You'll probably see I've just added a new oscillator down here. Normally I use RSI, and I might go back to RSI. I'm just experimenting with this Ori Elliott wave oscillator. Not a great deal of difference, to be honest, but I'm just experimenting because it's very clear, and I'm just going to look for divergences and just see how accurate it is, how predictive it is. So I'm just testing it out. As I say, I prefer to use at the moment the RSI with the standard settings for the indicator on TradingView is what I use. But worth experimenting. I've been looking around at various automated Elliott wave solutions. They're good. They actually help you a little bit in defining and discerning what the framework for the market is. Of course, some people, most people, an awful lot of people get Elliott wave wrong. They think it predicts precisely where the market's going to go. They think it's a really precise predictive tool. It's not. it's just a framework. It's just a sort of skeleton for the market to give you a range of possibilities where the market might go. Then you need to use other indicators, your experience, fundamental factors, all sorts of other things, sentiment, to really try to determine. But the Elliott wave just sets out risk-reward parameters using waves for where the market might go to. So I find it really useful, but it's definitely not you can't use it in isolation. You do definitely need to use other indicators to give some sort of better indication, better clarity on where the market's likely to go. So as I say, here with Bitcoin, as I say, it went against most people's expectations. Everyone got extremely bearish when we got this dip down. I said it's likely just a wave 2 dip down, as I've got it labeled here in red, and we're going to push up again. It's still conceivably possible we might get another push down, but altogether, I still see this as corrective. So if you're long Bitcoin, I personally think it's good. And if we see further dips, I think it'll be just further opportunity to dollar cost average. I mentioned about looking for divergences. I don't actually see any particular divergences at the moment. Can't see anything at the moment here. We'll look at other assets as we move down the list. But Bitcoin has come out strong this morning, currently 91,960, which is a good move up from the low only a couple of days ago now of 78,000. Really good percentage move. And we called it. We were saying dollar cost average.
Hold on a second here. There's a lot going on my computer. We're just boop, boop, boop.
Which is a good move up from the low only a couple of days ago now of 78,000. Really good percentage move. And we called it. We were saying dollar cost average, get some exposure. And if it dips again like here, there's an opportunity to add to your basket and get some more. Even Ethereum, which as you well know by now, is not one of my favorites because I think its use case is far less important than it used to be. Virtually everything used to be Ethereum, the Ethereum smart contracts. Nowadays, there are many alternatives, and Ethereum is seen as somewhat slow, cumbersome, and expensive. The gas fees are still high, despite the upgrades they've had, despite going to from proof of work to proof of stake. All these things haven't really solved things, haven't been a solution for Ethereum. So it's still lagging, although obviously it does have its own ETF now. So it's still not to be dismissed. And I think if the market goes up, Ethereum has lots of potential to go up as well. Litecoin, we saw it yesterday. We were talking about it when I think it's down around the 100 area. It's had a good pump higher. It's pulled back a little bit. This looks like corrective movement here. I still think there's higher to go, potentially quite a bit higher to go for Litecoin. Solana is the one that I really follow very closely. And as I say, I think this move down from what I've got labeled as wave 3 up here is clearly corrective. And we have the triangle here, which proves to me it's corrective because triangles cannot occur in a wave 2 position. I've labeled it wave A and wave B. If you wanted to label it as an impulse down, you'd have to label it wave 1 and wave 2. But triangles cannot occur in wave 2 positions, and so it's not wave 2. So I conclude it's a wave B triangle, and then we continue on down. So it's corrective. So whether we move up straight from here, whether we have one more dip low, I've labeled it just to satisfy some of the more bearish people in the market that potentially we have another dip lower. But in fact, there's a real possibility we can push higher, although we do have some kind of possible head and shoulders, short-term head and shoulders in the market. We may push down one lower. If we do, for me, again, it's just an opportunity to add to your basket, add to your bag of Solana here, and potentially just have a bigger exposure when the market does eventually turn to the upside. And it should do, and hopefully this good news, we hope good news coming out, I'm sure it is. It's a first, really, isn't it? America really taking crypto seriously. They want to be the capital of crypto for the world. And with what's happening now, with this summit, with moves in regulation, etc., there's a real possibility of that happening. So if they really get behind it, then potentially, obviously America is the powerhouse. And if American money can easily get into crypto, we could easily push to these new all-time highs that I'm expecting and predicting really for the time ahead. XRP, again, we called it at the low point here. We called it and said we had an ABC high. We actually called it from here. And it's been going, from this low point that we had of 176-ish, 176 there, we're now at 251. So just top my, just rough guess, it must be 50% higher at least already. And that's not even counting the previous push up here. So we're still 50% up from that low point. And I think this is corrective. As I say, even if we were to get a shock and a push down, it's still corrective wave movement, because this move up here has certainly overlapped both this movement down here and this movement down. So this movement up and this movement up and even this movement up all overlap these movements down. So it tells me it's overlapping. That tells me it's corrective. That tells me the trend is higher, as I've got labeled here with this arrow. I had the arrow labeled up here because we had some negative bearish divergence at the top. So I was telling everybody this was the time to sell.
All right, hold on one second. Like I said, I do have a lot going on my computer here. Boom. Here we go.
As I've got labeled here with this arrow, I had the arrow labeled up here because we had some negative bearish divergence at the top. So I was telling everybody this was the time to sell. That's precisely what happened. We got some bullish divergence here, hidden bullish divergence, signaled higher, and that's precisely what's happened. Again, just looking for divergences. There's nothing particularly. There's a big divergence. I'm just looking just to show you here from the all-time high. Well, yeah, the all-time high there to that point there. We can see. Actually, no divergence there. So interesting whether this does show divergence as well. We'll continue to look. So at the moment, as I say, it's choppy, corrective, not quite sure where it's going. Oil has really been hit because there's an oversupply of oil. Definitely an oversupply in relation to the demand for oil, and we expected it to fall. We've actually called it from the peak here, this particular peak, where it hit a long-term trend line, which was an overhead resistance. It actually hit that, pierced it very, very slightly, but didn't stay above it. There's no solid candle body above it. So we have actually moved down quite nicely as expected, and possibly still a bit further movement to the downside. But this is relatively powerful support here. If I just put a support line in, I'll just show you. Let me just see, horizontal ray. We can see some supports here of previous efforts to go lower. So yeah, we broke those supports. Let me scroll out a bit longer term. Yeah, okay, we're in that sort of region. You can see there's a lot of efforts to push down. So actually really quite solid support was here from this point here. I've got the asterisk, and we just basically touched that support. Let me just see, I think it's almost precisely. I mean, look at that, amazing. Shows you the power of technicals, the power of technical analysis, that you can see a long-term low here, and we're talking quite long-term, we're talking well over a year really, that we didn't reach a low like that. We've tested lower a few times, but just look at that price, tested, touched, failed to pierce the low. So it may even be, maybe we don't reach this support line here, maybe it turns here. It has done so far. And this is what I'm talking about. When I talk about risk reward in the market, when you see a support like that, it's actually a good option to potentially take a long trade. Stop loss will be just below support. You might even want to put it further below, right below this long-term trend here. But you can see the potential loss is, if you call that 1 unit, the actual potential upside to here, the overhead resistance, would be probably 10 times that. So you have a 10-to-1 risk reward. So you don't need to get many of those trades right. When you get your risk reward right, you don't need to get all your trades right. If you got half of them right, you'd be doing amazingly with a 10-to-1 risk reward ratio. You'd actually make loads of money over the long term. You'd make some losses. So you have to appreciate that you might get a few losses, but the losses are small compared to the size, the magnitude of the gain. So that's what risk reward trading is all about. The more I look at this, by the way, the less I like this oscillator. I just don't see divergences that I would normally see using RSI. So it's good just to go through it. Gold has been pushing quite nicely again. Again, we've said over and over, right from the beginning of the show, which is well over a year ago now, we've been bullish gold. We've actually come out over and over and over again saying gold is in a solid uptrend. And when you look long term, it's still very much in that uptrend. I'll just scroll right out to the weekly here. We can see the power of that uptrend. We've had a few signals along the way. This is looking really long term, but potentially we still have maybe a correction to come soon. Maybe we're already in that correction, who knows? But probably another push higher to get us to wave 5 here in red, which potentially would give us a top in the market. So might align actually with what my expectations are. I still think that following a major push higher with risk assets like Bitcoin and crypto and S&P 500 and so on, major push higher, I do think that we will, after the wave 5, get a very substantial correction. And that could come as early as April. So let's see. I know the old adage, certainly in the UK, is sell in May and go away. I actually think that it's probably going to be April, the turning point here, but we'll see. But warning signs that we're getting close to a top, but I do think there's still a powerful push to the upside. So still opportunity to make hay while the sun shines. And then we have the S&P 500, of course, which again is very, very bullish, long-term picture there. But once again, we're approaching levels that, that may result in a turnaround. We did have, just looking here, yeah, no, that's interesting actually. Just again looking for divergences. I'm gonna dump this oscillator for certain, because there's definitely no divergence here. I don't like it. I'm not.
Hold on a second here. There we go.
Because there's definitely no divergence here. I don't like it. I'm not sure what I can gain from this. Obviously, you have sort of overbought and oversold positions. It's signaling those very clearly. So in some ways, as a simple indicator, when you see a sort of a big red area here, you're looking for a potential substantial move to the upside. You can see price-wise, that's precisely what's happened. But we're getting a lot of exaggerated green areas here, which are not really signaling proper upside in the market. So without there being any divergent signal here, I don't like the indicator. And so I'm going to delete it right now. And just to show you how I would add an indicator, I go onto my indicators section here. I'll add in my usual RSI, which is the indicator of choice for me for an oscillator, where I look for divergence. So we can see here, for example, we see higher highs on price. I'll just draw the corresponding here. It has to be corresponding. We can see lower highs RSI, and that signaled to me a turnaround in price. So that's why I like RSI as the oscillator that I use for divergent signals to tell me of potential turns in the market. So I will actually set out a chart like this. I'll draw on all of the divergences that I see like this, and just see how predictive they are. And from my calculations, they're above 90% accuracy. So again, when you're talking about 10 to 1 risk rewards, and you can couple it with a decent or a few decent indicators like this, I don't just use RSI divergence, I'll use a few other things. But when you put them all together, it means that you are profitable much more often than you are loss making. So very, very positive. Now, just skipping over to DXY, the dollar index, we can see it's been plummeting. And this is as a result of the tariffs. There's been a lot of, rhetoric back from the Chinese in particular, saying they're ready for war of any sort. So they're not taking kindly to Trump's tariffs, that's for sure. And we're seeing, don't forget, the Chinese are big supporters of the US dollar in terms of buying treasuries. If they were to withdraw from buying treasuries, it would actually potentially break America. So Trump needs to be very careful. And when China says they're ready for war, we know that they are a disciplined people. And, Trump is potentially playing with fire here with these tariffs. the trade deficit. I mean, it's actually quite interesting. Let's just take a little think and look at this trade deficit. So what Trump is trying to do is eliminate a trade deficit. He's putting tariffs on to try to limit imports so they can actually manufacture more stuff internally in America to sell in America. So that basically what the problem is, the underlying problem, and you need to think about this analytically, the underlying problem is America is not productive enough. They do not produce at the right prices, so they're not productive. So what Trump is doing is artificially try to deal with the problem by putting tariffs on and basically making externally manufactured goods more expensive. That is not the way to deal with lack of productivity. The way to deal with lack of productivity is R&R. It's basically research. You need to research, things like AI, all the innovations. America's good at that. They've got some great great universities, great research background. That's what they need to focus on, not artificial plasters to stick over the problem, which actually creates tensions in the world and will create nothing but trouble. America needs to focus on what's good to increase productivity, not try to cover it over by putting tariffs to make other people less attractive. Potentially, the goods are overpriced. It's going to bring inflation, it's going to limit growth, and it's not going to address the underlying problem. So I really think it's a big, big mistake. And it's going to cause not only economic troubles, but eventually geopolitical trouble. And that's what I'm worried about when we're talking about maybe April time. These things are already making a lot of people in the world very, very uncomfortable. So we'll see what comes of that. But at the moment, the markets hate it. The dollar hates it. Making a weaker dollar, by the way, what it means is that also makes buying stuff from abroad more expensive if you have a weaker dollar. It means you have to give more dollars to buy the goods abroad. So once again, it's inflationary. So inflation is going to go up absolutely, I would say, for definite. Estimates are it's going to increase inflation by at least 1% this year. So we're already way above target. Increase it by another 1%. What are you going to have to do to deal with that? You're going to have to lower interest rates. If you've basically when you've got diminishing growth, it's going to diminish growth. You're going to need to lower interest rates. But how can you lower interest rates? You actually need to raise interest rates to deal with increased inflation. So on the one hand, you need to lower interest rates to deal with lack of growth. On the other hand, you need to raise interest rates to basically deal with the high inflation. So those things just don't accord, don't fit. There's no solution there. So this is why markets have been worried. Crypto markets at the moment, they're obviously bullish, just expecting some good news out soon. We're seeing even dollar yen falling. We see it around support. If it breaks support, we've tested that support. Supports are very, very important. Again, from risk reward, potentially it's a good buy with a stop loss below, but there's a real danger with the current momentum in the dollar being downwards. There's real danger of this breaking. And if it goes too far, then it will begin to cause problems for the carry trade. Because don't forget, the Japanese are raising interest rates to tackle inflation. Whereas even though America has inflation and probably has even more problems with inflation moving forward, America cannot raise interest rates because the growth is abysmal at the moment and stuttering and spluttering. So they've got a problem there. I'm not going to spend too much time today on the rest. Trump coin again is looking, it's a gambling coin, basically a meme coin, a gambling coin. You can play with it, but it's just highly risky. You can make some money potentially. And with this crypto summit coming up tomorrow, you could get a nice little pump in some markets. So if you're doing that, you would probably look for the more volatile assets like Trump coin, for example, but also the ones that are mentioned in this crypto strategic reserve. We've got Bitcoin, we've got Ethereum, we've got Solana, we've got XRP, whatever else. We've got ADA, Cardano. So all those assets could get a really good pump tomorrow, but also even the volatile assets. And so some of the AI ones are really good. And even some of the memes, as I say, Trump would be worth perhaps a short-term pump ahead of this. Maybe that would be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So I think crypto is going to pump but let's see what comes with the news tomorrow. So I think there are opportunities out there today, opportunities to make some quick money, but be careful. When there's big news events like this, even when they're positive, there is a risk of it being a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So if you're in the market long today, then good. I think you probably do very well out of it, but just be careful because markets can be really volatile around these big news events. And this is a big news event. And especially as well with the non-farm payrolls as well, it's going to be a big day tomorrow. So I look forward to tomorrow. I think it's going to be an amazing day. And thank you for listening today. Hope it's been helpful and catch up soon. And actually, before I go, let me just see where I've gone with the eBay price. Okay, I mentioned yesterday it was a good buy, good potential buy anyway. We're still up, 30 days, 336%, 3x. Not gone up much over the day, but at least it's up. So still lots of potential there, multi-X potential. So we'll continue to follow that as time goes forward. I think it could be one of those multi-X coins for the future. So again, thank you for listening. Bye for now.
Great, Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report. Of course, he normally joins us live, right? He joins us live. Today he sent in the he had some meetings today. It's funny, we've been doing this show together. He did the first show with me, if you guys were around. He did the very first show with me. And he said, I had him on as a guest. He says, Bruce, I think I'll do the show with you. And I said, oh, if you want, I'll come on every day. And I said, well, absolutely, man. Matt and I made a bunch of money together. And then we're just getting started here. We're on the next run. Now I have an exciting guest that I'm about to bring on. My friend, I teased him in the beginning of the show. My friend Vin Menon. Vin and I have also known each other actually even longer than my friend Matt and I have, Matt Dixon. I'm going to bring him on, but I'm going to show first some of our interview that we had at the Global Family Office Investment Summit. So let me just, here we go, right here. And then I'm going to bring him on for an update. And I'll tell you what, it's exciting stuff. It is really exciting stuff that he is doing here. Let me just add my boom with the Mindwave DAO. The Mindwave DAO. Actually, even before I bring this on, I'm gonna read. So we just put out this press wire. Mindwave DAO showcases Bitcoin-backed DeFi solution at the Global Family Office Investment Summit. Unveils the NILA token launch. Mindwave DAO presents Bitcoin-backed DeFi solution at the Global Family Office Investment Summit and unveils its NILA token launch for investors. This is from Miami, Florida. Mindwave DAO actively participated in the recent and concluded Global Family Office Investment Summit in Miami, engaging in high-level discussions on the future of digital wealth, Bitcoin-backed DeFi, and institutional blockchain adoption. As institutional investors increasingly seek for secure blockchain solutions, the summit provides a strategic platform to explore the evolving role of decentralized finance, DeFi, and wealth management. The summit brought together leading experts, investors, and innovators to discuss key industry shifts with a focus on the growing role of Bitcoin-backed financial instruments and Web3 solutions in shaping long-term investment strategies. The Mindwave DAO has contributed insights on bridging traditional finance with decentralized models, emphasizing how blockchain technology can enhance security, transparency, and yield generation in wealth preservation. The key takeaways from the summit: the next decade of digital wealth, Web3, and Bitcoin-backed investments are redefining wealth management strategies for long-term. Bitcoin-backed DeFi and institutional adoption, secure, yield-generating, decentralized finance solutions are gaining recognition in institutional portfolios. Family offices investing in blockchain wealth. Wealth managers are actively exploring decentralized assets as a tool for portfolio diversification and sustained growth. Opportunities and risk in Web3 are also talked about. Some of the key takeaways here: navigating regulatory landscape and technology advancements remains critical for sustainable adoption. Dr. Vin Menon here with a quote: "We see strong crypto potential in family offices, especially with ESG compliant Bitcoin-backed Mindwave DAO. We're committed to this event and strengthening ties with these esteemed offices. He is the co-founder and strategic advisor of the Mindwave DAO. Global Boost's media's roles and strategic partnership with the Mindwave DAO at the Global Family Office Summit. Global Boost Media played a key role by aligning its digital blockchain expertise with discussions of future investment opportunities. This involvement was particularly highlighted to Dr. Vin Menon's session, which underscored the transformative potential of blockchain in wealth management and strategy. Further strengthening this vision, Mindwave DAO and Global Boost Media have entered a strategic partnership to promote the NELA token, a blockchain-powered asset designed to revolutionize digital investments. The collaboration leverages both companies' expertise in blockchain technology, media, and investment strategy, aiming to expand the reach of decentralized finance and introduce innovative investment solutions to a broader audience. Mindwave DAO announces their launch of the NELA token and ongoing public sale, which he's going to give us an update here in a minute. I'm going to play our interview. In conjunction with the summit, Mindwave DAO officially announced the launch of its native utility token NELA, which is now available for public sale at sale.mindwavedao.com. The NELA token serves as the backbone of the Mindwave ecosystem, offering holders governance rights within the platform, access to exclusive DeFi products, participation in community-led initiatives, participation in ecosystems related to ad tech and media tech and insurtech. Backed by Bitcoin for stability and powered by AI-driven strategies, NELA is designed to optimize the returns and drive the future of decentralized finance. The public sale is now live, inviting investors to participate in this financial ecosystem. As institutional investors recognize the potential of blockchain-driven financial models, the Mindwave DAO remains committed to pioneering innovative DeFi solutions that ensure secure and efficient wealth management in the digital era. Mindwave DAO is a community-driven, decentralized organization focused on securitizing Bitcoin, implementing yield-generating strategies, and developing cutting-edge digital instruments. NELA token is a utility token designed to participate in multiple ecosystems in the media tech, ad tech, and insurtech, providing a unique way to drive utility value while participating in the digital ecosystem. Mindwave DAO is the .com is the website, sale.mindwavedao. Without further ado, let me play our short clip from the summit, and then I'll invite on Dr. Vin Lennon for an update. Hello and welcome back, everybody. We're here with my good friend Vin Menon. Vin and I have known each other quite well now. We've been even through some crypto winners together. He is he's with Mindwave DAO, the NELA token. Tell me a little bit, Vin, about the project and what brought you here to the Global Family Office Investment Summit.
Thank you, Bruce. Thanks for having me here. So basically what we are trying to do here is creating a Bitcoin-backed infrastructure and an ecosystem, which is considered as a hybrid DAO. DAO means decentralized autonomous organization, where the returns generated, yield generation from the Bitcoin fund, where we are using 3 separate strategies, which includes complicated negative gamma volatility trading, as well as the major momentum strategies.
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. So it's backed by Bitcoin. I know you have great connections with these Bitcoin miners. Talk to us a little bit about how it works. Somebody is investing or they're buying the NELA token. How are they getting payments or residuals from the structure you have set up?
Okay. So basically what we are trying to do here is the Bitcoin miners or the investors who are in our fund, they get 50%, they retain 50% of our returns, and the remaining 50% of the returns are distributed among our token holders, the DAO governance token holders, which is over 1 billion tokens. So it is going to be a monthly fixed income sort of return generating, yield generating token.
Interesting. So, and I know what partners in Singapore, right? The company is based in
Mauritius and UAE.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit more about
Tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to do this. I know you've done a lot of work with the different types of UN. You're even wearing a UN pin.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so basically, we personally, I'm involved in two aspects of the blockchain. So one where we have initiated this organization called Blockchain for Impact, which we work very closely with the UN and trying to provide how frontier technologies like blockchain can accelerate the SDG goals, which they have set it for 2030. The second aspect is for the profit aspect. That is where a platform like Mindway, where how can we bring in the real trading value to on a bottom of the pyramid people who just have to buy into the token and generate the returns based on the fund's performance.
So that is super interesting. So you have the token, you have these this entire system of credits and everything else that is there in the UN. It seems like you've kind of pioneered this space, right? I mean, how many other people are doing something like this?
So see, well, so if I have to take the credits for what I have been doing, probably we were considered as one of the first movers in the blockchain space. But we at that time our objective was to bring blockchain into a regulated institution grade product. So that's where we launched our first world's first insured crypto platform, and we are still the only fully insured crypto platform in the world.
They're still the only fully insured crypto platform in the world. I have with me here, he's up early for us, the great Vin Menon. How are you, my friend?
Hi, I'm good, Bruce. How are you? How is
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. You know, here in Washington, D.C. and in New York, we're up early, right? We do the deal. Of course, you're dealing with Asia a lot as well. So pretty exciting stuff. I know we were about halfway. You said we were about 40% through the sale there down in Miami. I know we've made a lot of
no, right now we
progress.
are almost there, like close to 85 to 90%. So we
Amazing.
close this round, maybe before our target date. And we are starting our second round with a slightly higher price, which will be 7 cents. So we still have 100K left for the 6 cents round.
Okay.
And it will be starting with 7 cents, and we are planning to go public in the exchange by end of the March or before end of the March.
Yeah.
And before that, we are going to have a couple of launchpad just to make sure that we have more wallets are coming in too. So it's going to be very exciting for us.
Well, I'll tell you, Vin, you're doing an amazing job. You know, I've been at this for a long time, and you know, I've taken people all over the world. And I'll tell you what, you know, whether I was like, hey Vin, we're gonna shoot a reality show inspired video, or I introducing you to people, or you were just going around working it yourself. I mean, you really, you know, it's taken a lot to get you to the point, I'm sure, where you're making your way around with these family offices and different people and really putting this together. Talk about a little bit about your journey, what brought you here to this point.
Yes, so we started our journey since 2015-16 in the blockchain space. Of course, we worked with Bitcoin much before that, when Bitcoin was $35-40. You know, we all came from that same era, I'm sure. And we first met in Washington. It was in 2018, I believe, right?
I think we must have met before then, but yes, you came to the very first Washington Elite event that we had, the AI Blockchain Summit. It was a lot of fun.
So it was like, it was lucky that, we could meet up at that time, and we have gone through this crypto windows together. Good part about it, ups and downs of the industry, but still we are, we are there surviving and growing. It shows that, the energy is much, much better now.
Yes, no doubt about it.
So basically, when we moved into the blockchain space, our objective was how can we bring blockchain into more institutions, more traditional finance-backed product or mainstream. So we started our journey like that. And that is where the first objective was we want to bring in the insurance, which is reinsured by Lloyd's of London market, which is considered the biggest insurance market in the world, AAA rated, and that will help blockchain, quote and unquote, at that time used to be a cowboy product. But now that became a mainstream and adopted by the traditional investors and the financial market and the capital markets. So that's how we started our journey. And of course, we launched our layer 2 at that time, which is fully insured as well. And the layer 2 was probably the one of its kind, where fully insured layer 2 kind of a scenario, where any assets created on that layer 2 was fully insured. So that gave us a special level of privilege, and we are still proudly we can say that we are still the only one which is fully insured layer 2 in the world. So that gave us enough privilege to claim that we were one of the first movers to bring blockchain and crypto into the mainstream or into the traditional finance world.
It really is. It's amazing, and you've done a lot of diligence and hard work in order to put it together to create something that is able to be backed and is it able to be insured. Of course, I guess I'll go ahead and drop kind of the news here. We are having a bit of a launch party. We're having a bit of a launch event on March 19th in the Big Apple in Washington D.C., which is where you are. So we're super excited about that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun. So
I'm
talk.
excited about that.
Yes.
The first entry for all the people who trusted us and bought into us in the private sale, pre-sale, and even the public sale, which is going on. They all are getting an option, an opportunity to be part of the journey in a long term, and at the same time, there will be a liquid market for them to exit as well, in case if they want to grow their capital.
Well, I'll tell you what, and obviously that's always part of the deal. But when you have a guy like Vin Menon crisscrossing the globe for you and putting this together, like I said, I was super impressed down in Miami. It really was. It was a great event for Mindwave DAO, great event for Neela, a great event for us as well.
Yes.
Hats off to Anthony. He did a great job.
And Bruce, I want to actually also share with you a small concept about why Neela and how why you should consider looking into Neela, right? So Neela, from the Bitcoin fund, whatever yields are generated, 50% goes to the fund owners, or what we call it as the LPs of the fund, and another 50%, which is supposed to be the GP share, will be distributed across a hybrid DAO, which will be the Neela token. That's number one. Number two, same time, Neela token being a fully utility coin, we are also increasing the utility value. So in concept, I'm sure most of you are aware of that. There is something called token value management. That means it's the same goes with even a currency. Like from a Fed, if you're issuing a US dollar, how many hands it is changed before it comes back to the reserve. So the same way in token, we call it token value management. So our objective is to make sure that increasing the token value for Neela token. So to enable that aspect, we have actually increased and added most of the utility values. So right now we are sitting with at least 3 ecosystems to be integrated, which starts with one, Advertify, ad tech platform. Second, InsurTech platform. And third, it's going to be it's going to be a surprise for most of the people that we can also integrate a consumer-based, retail-based Advertify platform. So this is all on the way. We don't want to disclose much right now. Let's all crossing the fingers and heading to the exchange right now.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of work, and I'm gonna, if you look actually up here in the corner of Vin's picture there, you can see a QR code. That is the QR code. You can follow that right to Mindwave DAO, and the sale is ongoing.
Yes, excited.
Yes, the sale is ongoing. You heard the price is about to go up.
Yes,
and of course we. With the work that's going in, amazing team. You guys are a worldwide team. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so we actually truly believed in the decentralization, even our organization. So we have right now around 25 member team, including our ecosystems.
Am I included in this team?
Of course, you are the boss of the team. Let me. So across 8 countries, 8 locations spread across and working together for the same goal. So I'm very proud of our team, what we are achieving so far.
Amazing. Well, it's a real pleasure, guys. Make sure, so it's going to be the event in New York City on the 19th will be Bitcoin Palooza, our event we throw a few times a year. Bitcoin Palooza as well. We're going to be doing a number of things. Of course, we have we'll be down in Miami, I believe, together in May as well. But a lot going on. This thing gets listed at the end of this month. You'll be able to trade it. You'll be able to do what you want with it, hold it, move it, buy it. Whatever you want. What else would you like to share? Any other points that you'd like to say, and maybe share the website again, and then we'll go.
So our website is mindwavedao.com, and we have a portal which is focusing on sales, sales.mindwavedao.com, or you can click the button buy now in the portal and be part of the journey now itself. So our first round, sales stage 1 is going to close. We can see that it is closing before even the time we were predicting, and our second round is also going to start, which will be slightly higher price, and it will go all the way until exchange listing or close fully subscribed. So yes, that's where, and be part of the journey, and going towards the next so many years where we can see that crypto and blockchain is going to be the next internet.
I mean, we got the crypto summit here in the capital tomorrow, so super exciting stuff. So guys, it's mindwavedao.com. Dr. Vin Menon, my old friend and colleague here, very, very good to have you on. A real pleasure.
Same here, Bruce. Have a good one and good luck with your show.
Thanks, man. I'm going to finish up here with our skit that we did so everybody can enjoy.
My God. Yeah, I would love to see that publicly.
Everyone can enjoy the skit. Let me just load it up here. Oh yeah, and then we'll both drop off the screen. But always a pleasure, my friend, and I'm sure we'll be talking a bit later today.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. And cheers.
Yes, it's
We're in Miami, on our way to the Trump International for the Global Family Office Investment Summit. Guys, stay tuned. This is our Lambo for the shoot we're going to do. So that'll be fun.
These kind of transactions. I met with French Hill, who's like a gentleman. Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. You can find each of these guys and talk to them, telling you their wealth of information.
All right, we're in front of the Lambo. Hold that. Hit stop for a second.
Bruce, what's up, man? I knew I'd see you here at the Global Family Investor Summit.
Yeah, man, this is the place to be at the Trump International Resort. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. So I hear you're raising some big money.
All right, yeah. So we just launched our new energy fund. So we're here to raise $100 million.
$100 million. Well, this is the place to do it. Global Family Office Investment Summit. All the big money is here.
That's right. That's why we're here.
But George, I want to introduce you to Crypto Gal. She knows all the inside cuts on the family office events.
All right. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. So what brings you to the summit?
We just launched our energy fund and we're here raising capital for our newest venture.
Awesome. I have the perfect strategy to help you raise money while we're here at the summit. I'm super excited. We should talk. What's up, Brandy? I haven't seen you in forever.
I know, it's been since back in Jersey. Tell me what's new.
Well, I have some new clients. I actually wanted to talk to you about getting them on Global Boost because I know you have a huge reach when it comes to crypto and TV.
Yeah, fantastic. Let me introduce you to the guys right away. They're right over there.
Hey, Vin!
Hey,
Do you know that our public sale is 40% achieved over the last 7 days?
That's amazing. You know, with what you're doing with the ESG and the Mindwave DAO, I think this family office event is the perfect place for us.
Bruce, we need the strategy now.
I have the perfect person for us, Crypto Gal.
Meet Crypto Gal.
I love Bitcoin yield generation. Neela would be a perfect fit. Since Neela is ESG compliant and yield generates Bitcoin, it's a perfect fit.
Bruce, these deals are really coming together.
Anthony Ritosa pulled out all the stops on this one. There's so much money in the room, and the quality of everything is so high.
Vin hit it, George hit it, and we are hitting our goals. That's why I love it here.
It's going to be fun, guys. If you have not made the time to come in and see us, well, that's all right. We'll tune you in. We'll keep you posted, so to speak, because keep in mind, Global Boost Media is a place that's going to broadcast and showcase so many new investing products, people, and opportunities that you can learn about and be a part of. Maybe you're a family office. Maybe you're just some CEO and you say, hey, I have an idea. I'm a founder and I want some coverage. I want to be seen. I want to tell my story and get people out there. Hit up Global Boost Media and maybe we'll give you a chance to tell your story.